Welcome back to 52 Moments, where I answer things like,
Why are you like this?
or,
What happened to you?
or even,
Who did you piss off?
as best I can. Along the way, I hope you'll learn more about me. So let's get to it. Welcome back. This episode is called From Concept to Published in 10 Days. And it refers to my self-publication of this little tome, Haiku Miscellany, which I published in 2010. Now, prior to publishing that book, I had been sewing plush creations like this and this and this. Now, I've sold most of them, including most of the ones that appeared in the book, but I still have those few. This one will never be for sale because this was the first one I made. I called these creatures Huggets, and they each have their own little backstory on the tag. So there's a little story about each one. This, for example, is Martha Huggets. Martha's a little damaged. She lost an ear and got a little twisted out of alignment in some sort of freak accident, which she won't talk about. Totally valid. But otherwise, she's a pretty happy and cuddly member of the Huggets family. She is made from reclaimed velour and felt scraps and is stuffed with polyester fiberfill. So these little creatures I would sell for, $20, $25, which honestly is way less than, like, it doesn't count for my time. But I also wrote a ton of haiku all the time. I wrote zombie haiku, which I won prizes for. I write haiku for like movie reviews. I constantly will bang out haiku. It's just something that comes really easy for me to condense down a concept into 3 lines. I typically will do 575. I think all the ones in this book are 575, but sometimes I go rogue and just go with the overall idea of haiku being to encapsulate a single experience, image, whatever. And so it's shorter, longer, shorter. And sometimes those aren't always in the 575 syllables. And that is okay as far as the International Haiku Collective goes. So at some point, sort of over Christmas break, I came up with this idea of, I wonder if I could photograph some of my my Huggets dolls in ways that then I could attach a haiku to them. And this sort of grew. So for the most part, I had all of the stuffies that appear in this book already made. I think I might have made 1 or 2 more, but and I had a lot of the haiku already written, but I did have to come up with a couple. So basically what you're left with is something that I made entirely myself. So the dolls were things that I sewed, the haiku were words that I wrote, the photos I took. So this is entirely a project I put together. And I put it together in like basically over a weekend, and then it took me a few days to crunch it through the self-publishing at lulu.com. It's still available there, but this little tiny 34-page book, because it's print on demand, is around $25 US, which seems like a lot. I still have a few in stock. When I made a big buy of, like, I think I bought 50, like a box. And I've been selling them over the years, and I do have a few left. So if you do live in town and would like a copy, just reach out to me. If you don't, I will include the links below. There's also a link to You can also get a PDF version from Lulu for just a couple of bucks. So if that appeals to you, I don't know how I will get my money from there because I don't think I've ever sold enough to get a payout. But who knows? If people buy them, maybe I'll get a payout eventually. Um, but one of the things that I'm most proud about is that this book feels legitimate to me because the UVic library bought two copies. So there's one copy in main circulation and one copy in curriculum circulation. Um, it was also selected as one of the inaugural books for the Greater Victoria Public Library's Emerging Local Authors collection. So they have a copy there as well. And I got to go to a big do about that, and that was in 2015 that I was able to have that included. So it's all it's one of those things that I'm extremely proud of. The haiku that's on the back sort of summarizes it. Some monsters are good, others lack manners and tact, but it takes all kinds. And that really does sort of give a good idea of what's inside. I also donated a copy to my kids' school back then. They really enjoyed having it. I never did go and do any readings in schools, but it is one of those things that I've had in my back pocket of something I could do. So, anyway, this is another thing about me. Once in a while, my hyper focus results in something tangible. And this is one of those times. So, Haiku Miscellany, which is a book of there, I think there's around 25 to 30 poems in there, with photos of creations. And yeah, you can see it online or you can talk to me in person and I'll hook you up with a copy. And otherwise, yeah, that's another thing you know about me. I hope you'll come back again next time. Thanks. Bye.